All right, good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for joining this session where you will learn how to centrally manage and deploy Palo Alto next generation firewalls with AWS Firewall Manager service and AWS Marketplace. My name is Gaurav Gupta, and I'm a senior solutions architect with AWS based out of Dallas. And I'm going to be joined on stage with Vijay Kannan, who is a product manager with Palo Alto Networks, who played a crucial role in making this integration a success. Um, So I will start with an overview of AWS Marketplace and AWS Firewall Manager service, and then hand it over to Vijay to do a demo of the integration. So AWS Marketplace is a curated digital software catalog that simplifies the discovery, purchase, and deployment of third-party software with AWS. Uh, Marketplace has three main tenets, as you see on the screen. We focus on speed with features such as quick deployment. Flexible pricing options help you unlock best price and pay for what you use. And reliability that ensures the solutions are verified and scanned for your organization's compliance needs. Marketplace provides an extensive selection in software categories such as machine learning, security, networking, storage, databases, business intelligence, and DevOps. Once you figure out the product that you want to deploy, you move towards buying it, where Marketplace provides you multiple purchasing options, such as pay as you go, bring your own license, free trials, and seller private offers that help you unlock the best price to meet your budgetary needs. Lastly, Marketplace provides multiple deployment options which help you customize the way you provision your software to meet your security controls, licensing terms, and more. So in short, Marketplace helps you provision and customize the software the way you need it. Now let's talk about, in addition to all the features that we just talked about, let's talk about private marketplace a little bit, because in my experience, customers are most excited to learn about this specific feature of Marketplace. Private marketplace enables administrators to create a curated catalog of approved vendors and products. Once that is done, the users within your organization can start purchasing the product and deploying the product for their applications, helping ensure that the products that they deploy meet your organization's security, legal, and procurement controls. Admins can also define user permissions. They can get notified when a new product is added or removed from the private marketplace. And they can also customize with company branding such as logo, color, and messaging. Just to give you a more overview of private marketplace, let me give you an example. One of my customers was working on a machine learning project where they had to deploy a third-party machine learning product with AWS Marketplace. So using their AWS account, he goes ahead and deploys the third-party product. He works with it for a couple of days and then removes the product from the marketplace, assuming that the product is a free trial product. Over a month later, he received a bill for that product that he had deployed, which was 5 digits long. And if I'm not wrong, it was probably worth a couple of my month's salary, right? Which is totally unexpected, because the bill that they have been receiving up until then was a couple of $100, right? So what had happened was that user was not supposed to deploy that product in the first place, or the marketplace admin should have been at least notified of that product launch. Apart from the technical resources that the product consumed and was built for, it also created accounting problems on their side, because they had to create an exception for the invoice that was generated, because it was such a huge bill. If the customer had been using private marketplace at that time, the user would not even have been able to procure the product in the first place, or he would have at least gone through the right channels to get the approval for the product. Hence, it is absolutely imperative to have these security controls around your procurement process, which can be done with Marketplace right now. Now let's talk about AWS Firewall Manager Service, or FMS. Firewall Manager is a security management service that will help you centrally configure and manage firewall rules across your organization. With Firewall Manager, you can deploy firewall rules all at once across your applications within your organization. Now, as you create more applications within the AWS environment, Firewall Manager makes it really easy for you to get those applications and resources under compliance across a common set of security rules from day one. So basically, Firewall Manager is a single place where you can manage firewall rules, create security policies, and enforce them in a consistent hierarchical manner across your AWS infrastructure. Again, Firewall Manager is a single place to create firewall rules which are native to AWS, and you can also deploy third-party firewall rules now with AWS Marketplace. Firewall Manager works with the following services. It works with AWS WAF to manage protection against common web exploits. It works with AWS Shield Advanced to manage protection against DDoS attacks for your applications. VPC security groups to manage security groups across your organization. AWS Network Firewall to manage traffic that is entering and leaving your VPCs to filter the traffic. Route 53 Resolver DNS to manage DNS firewall rules across your organizations. And now, with the integration of AWS FMS, Marketplace, and Palo Alto networks, you can deploy Palo Alto Networks next generation firewalls within AWS FMS. Now, I will invite Vijay on the stage, who, as I said, is a product manager with Palo Alto Networks, and he will give you a quick overview and a demo of the integration that they have done with AWS FMS. Thank you.
Hello everyone, can you hear me? Thank you. Thank you, Gaurav, for the good introduction on Firewall Manager Service and AWS Marketplace. I'm Vijay Kannan. I'm a product manager at Palo Alto Networks, and I manage the Cloud NGFW service. Before moving on to Cloud NGFW service and talk about that, I want to take a few minutes to talk about why. Why do we need network security in public cloud or at AWS environment? Log4j is very fresh in our minds. It just impacted 3 billion Apache servers, and enterprises are still dealing with it. You may have heard about ransomware evil or bashlight, etc. If you look at them closely, the network is the common denominator of these threats or attacks. For this purpose, your network security team do have to protect your VPC traffic against these network-based threats. Over years, Palo Alto Networks firewalls have been used by our customers for protecting the VPC traffic. It's best-in-class security with layer 7 awareness, real-time updates of signatures, and ML-powered threat prevention. However, recently, we have seen a lot of customers asking us to say, can you make your NGFW or next-generation firewall easy to consume, just like any other AWS services? I don't want to deal with security infrastructure. I don't want to deal with integrating that infrastructure to multiple other AWS services. Can you make it easy for us to consume? To help these customers, we partnered with multiple AWS teams to deliver Cloud NGFW. The Palo Alto Networks Cloud NGFW is nothing but next-generation firewall capabilities delivered as a service on the AWS platform. It offers the best of two worlds, the best-in-class security and the ease of use. Cloud NGFW is easy to deploy, and there's no infrastructure to manage, and you have zero maintenance. Finally, it integrates itself out of the box with multiple other AWS services for many functionalities. When we deliver this service a few weeks back, a lot of customers and analysts have asked us, how cloud native is it? Let's talk about that. You as a customer will use AWS Marketplace to procure the service, and then use a Cloud NGFW API or console to deploy this Cloud NGFW resources, or what we call NGFWs, in your VPCs in a few minutes. These resources will come with built-in resiliency, built-in scalability, and built-in lifecycle management. You have zero maintenance to use that. You can also use CloudFormation templates or Terraform templates to deploy the resources. And these resources do integrate with your CloudWatch or S3 or Kinesis for logging. It picks up certificates from your secrets manager, and then it delivers you protection based on what rules you configure on them. Before I talk more about the ease of use aspects of Cloud NGFW, let's take a few minutes and see what security aspects the Cloud NGFW has. When you deploy this Cloud NGFW resources on your VPC and write security rules, you essentially use a two-phase approach to protect your VPC traffic. First, you reduce your attack surface by using application ID and threat prevention techniques of Palo Alto networks. You essentially granularly control your traffic to allow certain applications and deny certain applications. You allow certain URL category URLs and deny certain URLs. You allow certain files to be transferred or deny certain files to be transferred. Essentially, what you can do is you can make sure that your workloads are just talking using apt-get or imupdate to a certain URLs like canonical.com or ubuntu.com. Or you can also ensure that your workloads are just doing GitHub uploads, not doing GitHub downloads, depending on what you want. So this kind of granular controls you get, that's the first part. You reduce your attack surface. Then on the allowed traffic, you block all the known and unknown threats using Palo Alto Networks threat prevention techniques, which continues to deliver signatures, etc. And all this is backed by our own threat research team. We call them Unit 42. So you apply this two-phase approach for your ingress traffic to your VPCs, your east-west traffic in your environment, and also your outbound traffic on your VPC. You need that to kind of stop your attackers getting initial foothold, or propagate your network, or to enable or to stop C2 traffic or data exfiltration. So let's come back to the ease of use aspects. Cloud NGFW transfers all the operational responsibility of your security infrastructure to Palo Alto Networks. As a customer, you just subscribe to your service, deploy these firewall resources, write rules on them, and then send traffic to the endpoints. And then all you do is monitor traffic and threat logs in CloudWatch, S3, or Kinesis. Palo Alto Networks takes the heavy lifting of scaling the service, your failover, your software updates, your content updates, and so that your resources comes built-in resiliency and scales along with your VPC traffic. So your Palo Alto Networks does most of your heavy lifting in this case. So when we deliver this Cloud NGFW service last month, we work with three main teams. One is the AWS Marketplace team. The second one is the AWS Firewall Manager team. And the third one being the AWS Gateway Load Balancer team. We work with AWS Marketplace team so that Cloud NGFW can integrate for procurement, metering, and billing. So customers can just go to AWS Marketplace and procure this service and subscribe to this service. And AWS Marketplace also tracks your usage and sends you a bill, sends its usage along with the monthly invoice. Next is Cloud NGFW also integrates with Gateway Load Balancer. Under the hood, in Cloud NGFW's resources are nothing but AWS Gateway Load Balancer based VPC endpoint service, and the NGFW endpoints are nothing but Gateway Load Balancer endpoints. So now, when you procure a firewall Cloud NGFW resource, it comes with all this Gateway Load Balancer, the Gateway Load Balancer endpoints, and the EC2 services, and the entire security infrastructure. So we work with the Gateway Load Balancer team to transfer the building responsibility of the Gateway Load Balancer, the Gateway Load Balancer endpoint, to the Cloud NGFW. So you just pay for as one unit. You don't have to pay for different units as you run these firewalls. So now, before moving on, let's see a small demo how we have integrated with these two services. In this demo, you will just see that customers can just subscribe to the service. That's the first demo. The second one is that how you can define security policies using a Cloud NGFW console. And the third demo is how you can kind of secure how you create a firewall resource or inspection point in your VPC and then secure your traffic. Let's start with the first demo.
Hello and welcome to Cloud NGFW Nugget. My name is Salman Syed and I'm a technical marketing engineer here at Palo Alto Networks. Deploying Cloud NGFW is a simple three-step process. First, you subscribe to Cloud NGFW service. Second, you write your security policy. And third, you deploy the Cloud NGFW resource. In this video, we'll talk about how you can subscribe to the Cloud NGFW service in the AWS Marketplace. Sign in to your AWS account and go to the AWS Marketplace. Search for Cloud NGFW service. Click on Continue to subscribe. After subscribing to the service, you will be redirected to the Cloud NGFW web console to provide the details like email address, first and last name to create your Cloud NGFW tenant. Once you create the tenant, you will receive an email with the link to our Cloud NGFW console with a temporary password. After logging in to the console, you add your AWS account and grant the permissions needed by Cloud NGFW to deliver the service. During this step, you will be redirected to your AWS account CFT page and presented with a predefined template that permits Cloud NGFW to store firewall logs, create NGFW endpoints, and access keys for decryption in your AWS account. In this template, you can specify the S3 bucket, CloudWatch log group, and Kinesis Firehose folders to send Cloud NGFW traffic, threads, and URL logs. Once you acknowledge and create a stack, the Cloud NGFW console will successfully add your AWS account. To learn more about Cloud NGFW, please visit Palo Alto Networks live community page. Thank you for watching.
Next thing you do is you define security policies for that subscribed account.
Hello and welcome to Cloud NGFW Nugget. My name is Salman Syed and I'm a technical marketing engineer here at Palo Alto Networks. In this video, I will show you how to create a rule stack to secure your application traffic. Click on Create Rule Stack and provide a name. Select your AWS account and click Save. A rule stack consists of a set of objects, rules, and security profiles that define how your application traffic will be secured. A security rule object is a single or collective unit that groups discrete identities such as IP addresses, fully qualified domain names, custom URL category, and intelligent feeds. Prefix and FQDN lists allow you to group specific source or destination IP addresses or FQDNs that require the same policy enforcement. A custom URL category allows you to specify exceptions to a URL category enforcement and to create a custom URL category based on multiple existing categories. You can use objects in a rule as a source or destination to allow or deny traffic. Now let's create a rule. Rule stack can have multiple rules. Enter a descriptive name for your rule. Set the rule priority. The rule priority determines the order in which the rules are evaluated. Rules with a lower priority are evaluated first. Set the source. Select any or match. If you select match, click the add icon. Specify CIDR range, prefix list, countries, or intelligent feed as source. Set destination. You can specify a prefix list, FQDN, or intelligent feed as a destination. You can use the application section to control applications by name instead of network port and protocols. While many apps can communicate over a single port, this ensures that only the app you intended is allowed by the policy. URL categories and filtering provide control over web activities. You can select a particular category from the list to allow or deny traffic. You can also configure port and protocol. Next, you choose what action you will want to take on traffic patterns that match this policy. You can simply allow, deny, and reset the request. This is how you define security rules that either grant or restrict network access to an application. On top of it, you can also assign cloud-delivered security profiles to your rule, providing deeper inspection of the allowed traffic pattern and protections against known and unknown threats. Security profiles make it easy to enable advanced security capabilities such as intrusion prevention and protection from spyware, malware, and web-based threats. We make it easy to get started by providing best practice settings for each of these security profiles. After configuring the rule, you can go ahead and commit it. Your rule is now ready to be associated with the Cloud NGFW. To learn more about Cloud NGFW, please visit Palo Alto Network's live community page. Thank you for watching.
Now that you have configured your kind of subscribe by an account and configure your rule stacks, next thing you do is configure inspection points or next generation firewalls for your VPC. That's the last step.
Hello and welcome to Cloud NGFW Nugget. My name is Salman Syed and I'm a technical marketing engineer here at Palo Alto Networks. In this video, I will show you how to create Cloud NGFW resource. Click on Create Firewall. Provide a name. Select your AWS account. Select the VPC you want to secure. Associate a rule stack. You can specify a subnet where you want the Cloud NGFW to automatically create an endpoint, or specify an availability zone to start the Cloud NGFW service and create an endpoint from the AWS console later. Click Save. The Cloud NGFW provisioning process will start. Once the process is complete, the Cloud NGFW will appear in your VPC as an endpoint. Update the route table to send traffic from your VPC to the Cloud NGFW endpoint. The Cloud NGFW behaves as a bump in the wire. All traffic sent to the endpoint is inspected and returned to the same endpoint. To learn more about Cloud NGFW for AWS, please visit Palo Alto Network live community page. Thanks for watching.
So now, if you have one account, you can subscribe via Marketplace, you can add firewalls to your VPCs and so on. What if you have a lot of accounts in your environment? You have two options. You can do the same thing across each of those accounts, or alternatively, you can use a firewall manager. Over the last year, we have worked with the AWS Firewall Manager team to integrate the Cloud NGFW with the Firewall Manager. With this, you just go to a Cloud Firewall Manager account and subscribe to the service just once, and then you create a Firewall Manager policy for Palo Alto Networks Cloud NGFW. That allows you to centrally deploy and manage multiple Cloud NGFWs across multiple VPCs and multiple AWS accounts in your organization. So this gives you a central deployment and management, and also gives you a central dashboard to see which of the firewalls are up and running, which of the firewalls have the proper route tables configured on those VPC, and so on. You can see that you can go look at the dashboard and look for any non-compliant notifications. The third important thing is that with this, you also get an hierarchical rule enforcement. You can, when you write this policy in AWS Firewall Manager, you can specify a global rule stack which contains the pre-rules and the post-rules. So these rules get enforced on all the firewalls being created by that policy on different VPCs and different accounts. Now, on each of those accounts, the account administrator can act as a local admin and create local rules on those firewalls as well. So you get an hierarchical rule enforcement where two different group of admins managing the same firewall, all managed via IAM policies. So that's the third thing. So let's see a small demo on this, and we are the first to be integrated with Firewall Manager and then we'll see a demo on how this Firewall Manager integration works in totality.
Hello and welcome to another Cloud NGFW Nugget. My name is Salman Sayed and I'm a Senior Technical Marketing Engineer here at Palo Alto Networks. In this video, I will show you how you can use the AWS Firewall Manager to centrally deploy Cloud NGFW resources and manage rules across VPCs in different AWS accounts of your AWS organization. After subscribing to the Cloud NGFW, associate the Palo Alto Cloud NGFW service with the Firewall Manager. Log in to the AWS console and select Services, AWS Firewall Manager and Settings. Under Third-Party Firewall Association Status, select Palo Alto Networks Cloud NGFW and click Associate. Next, create security policies. In the navigation panel, choose Security Policies, click Create Policy. For policy type, choose Palo Alto Networks Cloud NGFW. For the deployment model, choose either the distributed model or centralized model. In this video, we'll be using distributed deployment model. Select a region. Choose Next. For policy name, enter a descriptive name. In the Firewall Manager console, third-party firewall policy configuration refers to a global rule stack in the context of a Cloud NGFW. If you have already created one or more global rule stack, they will be listed here. If you have not created a global rule stack, you can create one by clicking Create Firewall Policy. This will redirect you to the Cloud NGFW console. Create a global rule stack. Enter a descriptive name for your rule stack. Click Save. Create a rule. Enter a descriptive name. Set the source and destination. Choose any app you want to allow or deny. Enable logging and click Create. After creating a rule, deploy the configuration. Return to the Firewall Manager console and select the newly created rule stack. Next, configure logging. You can select traffic, decryption, or threat logs. For each type of log, you must specify a destination. You can send logs to an S3 bucket, CloudWatch log group, or Kinesis data firehose. Choose Next. Under Availability Zone, select which availability zone to create firewall endpoints. You can select availability zone by name or by zone ID. Next, you can specify the scope of the Firewall Manager policy by selecting all or specific AWS accounts within the AWS organization. The resource type for Cloud NGFW policy is VPC. For grant cross account access, choose Download AWS Cloud Formation Template. This downloads a AWS Cloud Formation template that you can use to create a AWS Cloud Formation stack. These stacks create an AWS identity and access management role that grants Firewall Manager cross-account permissions to manage Cloud NGFW resources. Run this CFT template in each account that is part of AWS organization. Choose Next. For policy tags, add any identified tags that you want for the Firewall Manager policy. Choose Next. Review the new policy and choose Create Policy. Once you hit Create, AWS Firewall Manager calls the Cloud NGFW APIs to create Cloud NGFW resources for all of the in-scope VPCs. The Cloud NGFW global rule stacks are automatically associated with the created NGFWs. You can navigate to the Policy tab to see the status of the created FMS policy. The screen will offer details on the total number of AWS accounts encompassed by the FMS policy and their compliance details. Thank you for watching this video.
That was the end of the demo. So you've seen how we are integrated with Cloud NGFW with three main services at AWS. Now, just a little bit more on what we can do with these options. As you just saw in the demo, you could use a distributed deployment option or a centralized deployment option. With a distributed deployment option, you create a firewall resource or NGFW for every VPC you're trying to protect. Whereas in a centralized option, you kind of use dedicate a centralized security VPC, create a firewall resource or NGFW for that on the VPC, and route all your traffic via transit gateway through it. Cloud NGFW, as of today, supports both these options. You could use it either way, and you could use it either way directly from a Firewall Manager as well. Now, we have come to the last part of this presentation. So we have a bunch of resources available today. Few notable ones are the Jeff Bott's blog on how this integration works with Firewall Manager. Also, we have a video playlist. You just saw three videos. There are a bunch of videos on the playlist. It's available today for you to consume as well. We have other documentations, the tech documentation, the blogs, etc. will give you more details. And I will be here after this presentation. If you have any questions, you can also ask for it. Now, I give it back to Gaurav.
Thank you. Thank you, Vijay, for that awesome demo. So on this slide, guys, you can see that our training and certification team has provided a lot of information in order to get you or your IT team upskilled or certified with AWS. So if you are interested in that, scan that barcode and follow the prompt on it, which will get you in touch with our training and certification team. And from there on, you can get certified on the AWS platform. So that was it from the demo and the presentation perspective. If you have any questions on the topic or the product itself, Vijay and I will be available outside the room. So just walk up to us and we can discuss further about the demo itself. Thank you.